Inferno will be the second map of this best of 3 series. It started looking shaky for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but maybe they knew all along that they had won enough rounds on their CT side to dominate. When they moved over to the T side of Nuke, we saw a really strong half from them. Eric thought it was one of the best halves that he'd seen. I thought it was pretty awesome. I think just that round where they kind of read the situation, the kind of dread in B, and they made that quiet rotation, not too concerned with the time towards the A-bomb site. I thought that was really awesome. So I know Connor thinks that it's going to be a 2-1 in favor of Mousesports, so this is all expected for him. But the Infernos, I mean, Ninjas in Pyjamas, I think since they had that recent derby with Fnatic, I think both them and Fnatic have, for what it's worth, been have looked good. I think it's I think they could take it 2-0. I don't know, man.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, you kind of thought Ninjas in Pyjamas would win, but you're hyped for Mousesports.
It's one of those weird ones, yeah, because on Nuke, the T side was so tactically strong, and I wasn't expecting that level from NiP. But that said, Voxic's really on point here today as well. That's the difference here, because in a sense, if you have Voxic doing stuff like that, if you're not super tight in everything that you're doing on a T side, they're going to find ways to pick at you. You just have to give them that one moment, and a couple people are going to die, you know. But because NiP's team play was so awesome and so disciplined, they didn't get opportunities. And it's so cool how they kept locking them out with those rotations. Like, we talk about rotations all the time in CS. It's so important. That's what the T side is there for. It's about just pulling the CTs around and then creating a hole and then exploiting that weakness that you've then created, and then that's how you win rounds. And sometimes it's harder said than done with professional teams, but NiP did it so masterfully. It was really beautiful to watch. So now I have no idea what to expect with this one, considering that they're playing so well.
Yeah, form looks good, and I think we saw a lot of nice shots there from Woxic, but Inferno, I mean, the CT side there'll be a lot of action there. T side will be a challenge. I think he's ready for the challenge, but it's just hard to be as explosive regardless of your talent. I think on Inferno with an AWP on the T side. So if they can't get the maximum out of Woxic because of the map, then are they going to be able to? I mean, there's plenty of talent on the team, so perhaps they'll be able to. I mean, the question is posed for both, but I think the skill ceiling for Woxic with AWP is higher than anybody else on the server, as well as Dennis has been doing. He's not Woxic, no offense. So that is an interesting factor for me. I like the form I've seen from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
I do too. But I think I want to see Mouse, in terms of Mousesports, I want to see Rops have a lot bigger impact this game, because on Nuke he's on ramp a lot, and usually ramp is one of the lowest impact players on that map, because usually you're always rotating either up or lower. So Rops is playing usually pit on A, and there's always a lot of action there, and it's very important to see how he can maneuver and dodge the smokes and flashes, and see how NiP will, if they do a pit explode or lane take, and see how he'll have more impact than he did on Nuke. So I want to see a bigger game from Rops this time around.
I would say Rops is a master lurker as well.
He is.
I think he's very, very, very good at that. It was, I think it was enjoyable when we had Dazed in the studio when Rops was new on the scene, because he was just absolutely stunned. I've never seen him so excited to watch a person's POV, and was just marveled at how young he was and how smart he was. And that is something that you can glean from demos of Rops as well. We spoke about demos yesterday in Mihu and Vanguard plays. Maybe we'll see some crazy stuff from Rops here on Inferno. We might need to for Mousesports to take it to a third map. I mean, do you guys still think Mousesports are taking a W? Now you've seen the form of Ninjas in Pyjamas on that T side.
Oh man!
I mean, I can feel the nerves.
I mean, I thought Mousesports had it in the bag, and then NiP just tosses that half out, and I'm thinking, can they do it again? I mean, Mousesports still looks really good, but I don't know. Maybe I can't see NiP doing that exact same thing on this map, but surprise me, prove me wrong.
Sliggy, what do you think? Come on. He was confident before. We got updated odds.
Mouse will win still, I think.
Yeah, but why?
Because they're good at Inferno and Dust too.
Is that it? Jesus Christ. Thank God the game started.
Well, CT side for Mousesports, and Voxic will already be taking a look down middle. It can be very scary when you're doing that though, because if you get goosed, if you just have to disappear, and it feels like you're useless after that. So you don't want to be out there for too long. You just want to see if they're going for a quick timing so you can get rotations in. And NiP are just holding off, and that makes sense too, because you'll often get pre-nades like HEs flying down banana early in the round, so you want to avoid those, and you have the time to do it. So why not? It's a pistol round. Don't have to worry about it if you delay things a bit. And here they go towards B. Frozen spots it, finds a headshot, and Dennis returns. Carrigan's up to him now.
Yeah, gambling on that early reload. Didn't realize that somebody was so close, punished immediately, and look at the difference that has made for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They have a man disadvantage, however. Carrigan's got a smoke to use on a retake should he want to. We've got a late rotation from Rops towards Banana. Now, I think in some scenarios, like if there was no one coming from Banana, maybe Carrigan throws the smoke to cut off the Banana position. But I think it could be used as a bait. This time it won't be. Rops has been spotted. He will entertain Rez though, which means it is a 3 versus 1 on the B bomb site. So Mousesports may be charging in the meantime. Indeed, Rez finds himself alone now on Banana. There is a kit here for Woxic, looking for the bomb. We need a meat shield. Here's Woxic. There's the meat shield. Going wide as well to stop Rez from getting anywhere close to the angle. Excellent play from Mousesports on the retake. Looking for anything. Not finding anything. But there we go. There's a pistol for Mousesports.
Very nice. And I just looked up that goosh is not a word. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
You thought goosh was a word?
I did. Everyone says it. I thought it was a word.
Oh, well, you can argue that it's just, well, it's onomatopoeic, so from that sense it works.
Americans say it. You can't trust Americans. It's words.
For example, like kablamo is not a word, but it is it's like, you know, used in comic books as it's onomatopoeic. So and that's I think really where it comes from. It's like this. Oh, that's what it sounds like. It's a word that represents the sound. So. But yeah, I mean, arguably dink is not really a word either. It's just same sort of principle.
Dink?
Just
think is a word.
Onomatopoeia.
Just to confirm, think is indeed a word.
Dink has to be.
Good luck spelling onomatopoeia though. Right, we've got just some deagles here. So the objective is damage for NiP. You can't expect to get a bomb down, especially on a map like Inferno with so many tight choke points. But if you get the economy down to the opponents, that's going to be pretty helpful. Frozen might be in some trouble, but good flashes to assist. And there's a smoke. So keeping things honest and responsible. And NiP just have to wait it out, which is kind of sucks. Oh, actually, they're going to flash through it. I like that. It's better than waiting. Waiting sucks.
Easily avoided by Frozen, continuing to deliver some frags to this USP, leaving Lecro and Forest alone. An MP9 has been collected, but they have no Kevlar. There is a flash towards that full position. It's gone a bit too long there. Team flash. Ideally, in most cases, you want that flash to land in pool, because then it is covered by that wall, so your teammates can peek without being flashed. Either way, they will succeed at Mousesports with great results, 2-0 for them. The AK-47s are coming out for Ninjas in Pyjamas with plenty of utility as well. Will Woxic continue with a scout on Inferno? It's a tall order, but if he does, it keeps the money together with the team. So that is the kind of gamble. If he was to upgrade to like an M4 or something and had to buy again next round, he'd have basically no money. So that is something to consider, and partly why you see buys like this continue. Keep the money. Buy together, ride together, die together. Dennis dies alone.
That's a res by the logs, just keeping presence towards Banana as the rotation for NiP goes towards A. Well, there's 3 players for Mousesports, so what is the opening here for NiP? How can they create one? Gerard is pretty famous for lurking the apartments by himself with a single set of nades. And so he will be the guy operating, well, he was the guy operating from that position. And they are now bringing themselves together so they can attack top mid together. And Mousesports still don't have Banana, so they may start asking questions. They may start trying to flash around the corner, see what's going on, because right now they have no idea if it's A or B, which is always a problem on this map.
Long range smokes deployed. Carrigan just waiting. See, he's playing an off angle, so he's more exposed, but you can see Rez takes the angle that Carrigan you may go to by default, but he may have been absolutely wrecked. He will get traded, however, by Get Right, trying to play for 2, only good for 1. We've got a split now of the A bomb site, but that smoke has to go. Get Right waiting for a rotation. On the A bomb site, they're 3 versus 2. There are 2 men rotating, well, at least Frozen is in CT. Not quite sure what's going on just yet. There's a long spray, and eventually the headshots will come in. That's the A site taken. Chris J and Frozen now out of position, but these players are very tagged, but I'm sure they won't make it easy for an early frag. And indeed, Chris J moves away back towards the B bomb site, and it will be the first round on the board for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
That was a very interesting setup by Mousesports, having Carrigan on the wrap and then Woxic in the site in that area with a scout. It made it very awkward for Woxic to really do anything or peek any angle. As you saw, you got sandwiched between small pit and lane. I don't know. It's like if you go back in time, you wish that they would switch spots in those kind of situations.
I like the 1-for-1 for Carrigan as well. Oftentimes we say, if you go 1-for-1 on the CT side, it's not great, but when you're on maps like Inferno, sometimes if you're already in a man advantage, it makes a really big difference to, let's say, if the Ts are trying to attack through a choke point like Porch or something, and you've whittled down the numbers, then they won't have enough people to look in as many places as they need to, and then suddenly your 2-man crossfire becomes very, very powerful on the bomb site. So I feel like there are some spots where it actually is pretty beneficial to trade 1-for-1 as the CT.
See.
We saw a great round from a Vanguard yesterday when the T side were on eco to try to funnel them into Banana with that molly down mid and then blew them to pieces along with a spray through the wooden panel. I'll put a video of it on Twitter. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing more of a Vanguard tomorrow. They'll be playing one of these two teams. Ninjas in Pyjamas closer at the moment to a Vanguard than Mousesports are, with the 1-map lead. Having one nuke, in case you're just joining us, with a great T-side. Got the initial grenades and smokes and so on. New Inferno, a little like old Inferno. Wait for the utility to go.
So much more comfortable start for Mousesports, all things considered, given that last map where NiP looks incredible. They look so good on the nuke. I love that, actually, considering that they sort of initially in Counter-Strike at the beginning of Go sort of made their name on nuke. Obviously, that big streak of nuke victories was called into question if Astralis would be able to beat it, although Ents stopped them just short of it, which is, I'm sure, frustrating to no end for Astralis. But either way, nice pop flash for Carrigan to peek towards Arch. They have some information, one more player's there. Nice trade from Dennis. It's really come alive here, and there's some decisions to be made. There's 20 seconds, the bomb's on a long rotation. This is going to get really sketchy.
The time factor is huge for Rops. He's aware of the time as well, 10 seconds. And there we go, there's the information. That's the kill he needed. Doesn't see the player on the site, repositions. The awareness, the presence of mind is amazing. The last player, the wall bangs. Well, they're in a round-winning situation now. He's done a fantastic job there, but you do wonder about the time of Ninjas in Pyjamas. Maybe the calculator not really giving them the best of numbers. Whereas trying to secure stuff for 1 versus 1. There's a 180, but Rops with his final frag of the round. And I feel like NiP maybe outmaneuvered themselves there. Little time for error correction. Couldn't clear the A site, couldn't clear the pit, couldn't stop Rops. And that is 3 rounds for Mousesports. The Arch situation, there was a round that Liquid did. I've only seen them do it one time, where the player who was by the little monolith near the entrance to Arch from CT spawn was holding a pixel angle, so when he would see someone, he would just fire. And he's probably not going to get a frag there or really fight to the death, but he's just taking attention away. Then you'd have somebody on the corner to sight who would peek out while they're looking at the Arch position and take some players out. It's a really awesome setup, but I've only seen it used one time. Carrigan wanted to get to the bench position, maybe to look towards second mid. Didn't quite happen for him. Cover wasn't there in time. And that's an early 4v4 to Ninjas in Pyjamas, and maybe a weapon to be collected since Get Right only has a CZ75.
Muscles are being active towards Banana as well, so they've deep smoked it, so the pressure's on for NiP to clear space towards top mid. Oh my god, how was that not a kill? For Woxic, very unfortunate for Mousesports, but still they'll have good enough timings coming in on the retake. Looks like they're not going to go for it though, which does make sense. But that felt very marginal there. It seems as though Woxic's probably getting that kill most of the time. It looked like it was in the chest to me, but maybe, well, obviously not. And that one frag could have made a pretty big difference. It would have been a 2v2, which I think they probably would have tried for the retake.
I would have preferred Carrigan to do this move that he did, because he just ran down mid with no utility at all in the late game. I think at this time it's still early in the half, and then Carrigan just toss a Molotov, have the tension. Obviously, yeah, if you toss a Molotov that deep, there's a chance that he may be pushing, but it's early in the game still. Play safe, and then late game, when they don't expect you to push the bench, that's when you make your move without the nades. I mean, it's still too early just to risk it, in my opinion, you know? Play just a little safer, guarantee to kill, make some room for Roxic to wide swing or something.
B guys late game have not had too much to do just yet for Mousesports. A lot of standing around there. 4 players starting on A for Mousesports. Sometimes you see 4 players start on B. But how often do you see this instead? Well, they are gambling in fairness with the 2 rifles, so that's probably got a lot to do with it. Carrigan alone with a smoke and a deagle towards the B bomb site. We'll try to hold on to that for as long as possible. Now this could be a bait. Does he take the bait? No, not throwing anything just yet. Here's no sound cues. Okay, there we go. Some nervousness setting in, but as you can see, Ninjas in Pajamas look like they wanted to bait some utility. And there's plenty more where that came from. So if they do go towards the B bomb site, I would expect the guys on A would just try to hold on to these 2 rifles for the buy round to come. The pistol players could be an early warning system, just move forward a little bit to give their teammates warning of where people might be going. Robs quietly makes his way towards the B bomb site. No utility though, no flash, no nothing. And it's knows the situation. Spotting 1 player by the pillar, not pistol. And it's a safe clean out of the B bomb site. And there's not really anything for Robs to do. The rifles have made their way over, however, but now they will retreat.
I wish Robs had a kit. That'd be so sick. Sneak right in. Behind enemy lines.
That would be actually amazing. The execution. Oh!
Oh!
Oh god, this... The gun. Oh!
How was he still alive?
Is there a chance for another kill from Robs? Has he got it? Has he got the... Oh, that's... How is that such a sick nade? Oh, they really want to kill him. They really want... Well, he's going to die. They can leave him now.
Sayonara.
They can leave him to his last moments in peace. Just with himself.
It's a little fun fact. Dink is a word. It is a word.
What does it mean, though?
It means a partner in a well-off working couple with no children. It was invented in 1980s, so I don't know, just say
Dink.
dink.
A partner in a well-off couple with no children.
Or a drop shot in tennis.
Okay, yeah, I can see the tennis reference more.
Or a lift on a bicycle if you're Australian.
A lift. What?
A lift on a bicycle.
I don't know what that means.
It means
Well,
he rides on the handlebars.
We have Forrest with the AWP. Oh, I see. With on the T side, the initial grenades down mid position. So this is one of the challenges which will be interesting to see how it plays out. Post plant, the AWP is very strong, but how do you get to post plant with the AWP? That is the quest. That is the side quest. The cat with a light on it in the darkness. Holding mid for now. This is, if you see Monsieur Vitality, Zaiwu, often see him doing that on the T side as well with the AWP, but it is an interesting journey.
So Forrest is looking for the jump peaks, and they're just going to walk through the smoke. It's just kind of interesting that the pop flash play comes in. The timing is going to be really interesting here. Is it going to work out? Might be perfect. Oh, just a little bit too soon, perhaps, as NiP have not really made their way all across. Looking for the trades now. Oh, that had to be a lot more than that. I don't know. For Mousesports, this might be an instant save because... And what can Woxic possibly expect to do? They only have he has 2 flashbangs. They don't have the kits. You can try to do some damage, like sack 1 weapon, try to get some damage in, but this is not a good spot to go for the reload. Oh
no.
my god.
So close.
That is living dangerously.
Oh, he's just so dead, isn't he? He's just incredibly dead. There's nothing he can do. I'm not sure what the objective was there for Woxic. I mean, buy some time for your teammates.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
they've got no money though. Well, yeah, they.
I think he's trying to just get a random spam through the smoke, but he pushed too much.
Yeah, you need to be able to fall back before that smoke goes. And also that reload was wild, man. That reload was really wild.
That was close.
I've not seen something like that before.
Sweating right there. And I don't know what you're doing right there, but okay. Just running up with your knife out. Having a good time frolicking in the mid.
An unusual end to a solid round. The Ninjas in Pajamas find themselves in the lead now. 3 rounds in a row. 3 bomb explosions, detonations rather. Every round they've won has been by destination, which means that Mousesports have spent plenty of time saving. But they still don't have much to show from it. Keeping the money together for a buy in the coming round. 2 orgs and a bunch of smoke grenades. This time there'll be 2 players towards the B-bomb site for Mousesports, so they could try to buy time, try to force Ninjas in Pyjamas into an erroneous situation, which wouldn't be the first time when there was that late rotation towards A for NiP, which is one of the 3 rounds that Mousesports won, which may indicate the difficulties Mouse might have in the remainder of this half. That's a beautiful spray down from Rops, rotating, but Get Right will catch him out. Woxic's got to be really careful here. He's only got a USP though. Was the barrel of the gun seen? He's been taken out either way.
Oh, that's a good timing, but Get Right still nails it. That's incredible. Good job from Get Right, 3 in the round, and that's opened up the A sites. In swings Chris. I think he must be helped by Lecro. Yeah, easy for Lecro. And something I was talking about behind the scenes, behind the camera, with our replay operator Eamon. It was that it's cool to see how Get Right sort of fit back into the team, because when the point he was making is that when they were slumping, it really made it look like Get Right would be on the chopping block, because he's the guy that stuck out like a sore thumb in that situation, not performing individually as well as anybody else on the team. But right now, you know, in the ways that they've been working with NiP, Get Right's like slotted back in really nicely. Bunch of clear roles in which he's performing really well, holds his own, and all the firefights. Obviously very experienced, and some of the clutches I've seen him make is, you know, excellent. So he's definitely earned his place on this new look NiP, and honestly the demand is high, because right now NiP to me looks like a top 5 team in the world. In the recent games I've seen of them, they have that potential if they can reach consistency.
Another day, another detonation victory, but now we have a stark difference. Chris J with the second AWP for Mousesports. Woxic jumping past the angle. Oh, he's so clean. He's so clean. Fresh close. Woxic takes a early man advantage for Mousesports. Chris J invites presence down Banana. He doesn't want it to be smoked. He wants someone to peek him. Seen him be very, very capable in pretty much every angle on Banana. Even if he's peeking from sight and somebody's standing on the sandbags, the flicks are ready for Chris J.
Carrigan starts things off well. Nice assist from Rops. And that was a bit too easy. Everyone's just dead. This has fallen flat on its face for NiP. There's a minute for Forrest to do something, but I don't know what he can do. He's going to look for damage, and that would go a long way considering the money for Mousesports. And this is the first round they're going to win, so that loss bonus will start to get knocked down. So it'd be really useful to take away some weapons if you possibly could, but Mousesports are being disciplined. No reason to go after Forrest. He's got Chris J's AUG in hand. No, he's dead.
Beautiful double dink from Frozen. I wish my AUG was that good.
It can
2 bullets,
be.
2 headshots.
It's all about confidence, James. And aim.
That's the problem. That second part is my issue.
It's a good setup by Mousesports. Obviously, if you play like a pit lane setup, or it can be very dangerous if you try to do Halls pop.
Finally, Mousesports have won another round. The double AWPs continue, and NiP will have to reconsider the angles they take. I don't know if they're aware of Chris J's AWP towards Banana, or a second one in general. Woxic will be towards the B-bomb site on this occasion, and Chris J makes his way towards A after throwing the initial grenade, so Woxic can't really find any angles. Backs off without too much damage taken. There is Lurkmaster Rops starting to back off a little bit. Chris J's getting teased. Why is he getting these opportunities? So now they still might not even know that there are 2 AWPs, to be honest. Could have been a rotation. Oh my
no.
god. Clip that.
That's smart. Spam the wall, expecting someone to peek, pre-fire the smoke. Brilliant.
That's a pretty tidy way to pick up a round, because it, or at least put yourself in a very favorable spot. Dennis has no HP. It's got an AWP though, so that actually could work out. It's one of the spots on Inferno where, you know what, actually it's not so bad to have an AWP if you got a guy with 11 HP. There are some angles you can kind of try to like crouch peek But he's operating around Banana where there's fresh smokes, so something that Dennis will be able to do for in the near future. They may just go for a save at some point if they don't.
Well, if they go together towards the B bomb site, there's a fair chance of a 3 versus 2, trying to serve a fake towards A to keep them contained, and that's so far so good. They've got the smokes up to deny information. They still have a smoke for CT. They've got one flash that can go over the roof. So here we go. It's a 3 versus 5. It's a 3 versus 2 on the B bomb site. There are the initial grenades. Frozen gets his head absolutely torn to pieces. I'm sure Chris J was spotted here earlier on, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Dennis holding the angle. Wow. And there we go. Now post plant 3 versus 3.
How have they done this? They're going to win the round now. They forced the remainder of Mousesports to go for the save. That is really impressive. Just there's nothing that can go wrong. They've got 10 seconds when they're walking into the bomb site. The first shot is missed by Woxic on the AWP. I think Rez picks up the first entry frag very quickly and clean. Woxic is after missing that shot. What happens? Well, Dennis posts up on the angle. So Woxic's now completely useless. Beautiful stuff from NiP. I thought that was... You look at that, it's a 3v5. You got 20 seconds.
I don't want to put
I feel like that's a save almost.
I don't want to point the finger at Frozen or anything, but his spot was kind of bad in terms of it was a 5-on-3 situation. You know, keep it simple at that point. The spot he's on is like an odd spot if there's still 5 people alive that you have to get like these 2 odd kills. But in a 5-on-3 situation, bait Chris J and peek as soon as he misses or hits the shot, so you could immediately exchange the kill in that kind of situation.
That was great play from Rops to start things off, but again, we see another beautiful adjustment from Ninjas in Pyjamas, awareness and game sense. With 3 versus 5, we can concentrate our efforts, abuse our numbers. We still have an advantage. 2 men down, but 1 man up, pushing the B-bomb site. Woxic having a look-see, flashbang, absolutely perfect timing. Rez through the wooden panel. Woxic is not having a good CT half just yet. 3 and 8 perfectly placed flashbangs. Which kind of reminds me of Mousesports' T-side on the old Dust 2. Moving up the short position, they would flash every single angle that you may possibly hold a sniper from. It was beautiful to see, and Ninjas in Pyjamas are taking the snipers out of the game. Chris J, only 4 kills, Frozen down to 1 HP. Will he escape? He won't! They're falling to pieces, Mousesports. This is proving to be a very hard CT half again.
Yeah, I think Siggy just told me that at the end of the last round. The B defenders both threw their smokes at the same time.
I did notice that. One was in front of the other.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, I don't know, one bloomed before the other one such that I thought there's a very small chance, like a small window for him to accidentally throw at the same time. But that's weird. Maybe suggests communication issues that could be fixed at his early doors in that respect. Rops up high, and he will drop onto the bench, leaving Chris J alone towards the B bomb site. The B players have been lonely souls in many of these rounds where they've not had much to do. Been too late for a rotation. Plenty of action towards A, and it looks like it will be another detonation victory for Ninjas in Pyjamas unless they can find Chris J. Save Simulator 2019 Inferno DLC. That's what is happening for the B bomb site players. Swing and a miss from Chris J, and he's in trouble. I like the Molotov to control his rotation before he gets there. That's so smart. Ninjas in Pyjamas have had their breakfast today. They've had their Omega-3. They've got their iron supplements. Dan can probably add to that. That's his area of expertise.
B12.
I just like how consistent NiP are getting bomb plants. That's something they were amazing on Nuke as well. They're just getting bomb plants pretty much no matter what. And Mousesports, I wonder how different this could have been had you not seen those smokes, that smoke issue be a problem on that couple rounds previous. But Deagles now for Mousesports, and they're making this match now really hard for themselves. But yeah, well, that's the thing that Woxic does.
Stop picking Woxic.
I wonder how much damage that was, if that was like 101, because that was like through the wall as well, and it's a long range.
So speaking of bomb plants, Dan, the bomb has been planted in 10 of the 12 rounds we have seen so far.
Yeah.
Which is pretty substantial. That's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
And now it looks like they're going to plant the bomb in this one as well.
And NiP are always gaining control on the map. They're never sitting still, which I really enjoy. That's how it should be. Woxic got surely caught in the rotation here and running. So that is now Carrigan. 1 versus 4 with a Deagle. Good luck. Ooh, nice headshot, but it's small consolation in the face of a lost round.
Plant the bomb before Rops dies. I just want these stats to go up because I feel like I don't recall a game recently where I saw the bomb planted so many times in one half. Which just, I mean, obviously some of these rounds, one is the pistol, some of these rounds are ecos, but just the overall level of success just shows how many issues there are for Mousesports. And again, of these 4 rounds, I still have to say that I feel like NiP half gifted one to Mousesports when they had that very late rotation and had no time to take Rops out of the pit. So this is a very dominant half for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
And the series was always about getting to Dust 2 for them, and it's looking like that might be hugely in question at this point. I think even if they do get to Dust 2, it's still such a competitive game, because although of course they're very good at Dust 2, NiP are a great Dust 2 team as well. It's another map where they found their home for the longest of time. And look at that, you know, opening pick goes to Woxic. Still, though, huge struggle for Mousesports because NiP know how to move around the map together. And that's a big deal.
NiP looking really solid. Their T sides for both maps. Mousesports, I mean, we see some rounds where they do. I mean, this happened also on Nuke. They get the first pick, and NiP still somehow outmaneuver Mousesports, out-aims them, and ends up winning the round. So you got to say, Mousesports in this timeout, what's the situation? Now we have to tighten up our defense. Let's stop giving out early picks. NiP's shutting down the uppers really well. I mean, Chris, Jay, and Woxic have pretty much had very little impact at all on the CT side in general. So we got to say, what can we do to make a bigger impact? Woxic does have the spawn, though, so he might be just keeping pick in the middle. He's having a lot of success, but I wouldn't be surprised if I see him peek alt this round instead of middle. If one of his teammates flash for him.
Conservative peek. Good flash. And that actually also stops them from throwing the incendiary down as well to tops of T-steps, which allows Forest to kind of get positioned there also. All the small things, NiP are doing all the small things really well at the moment.
Especially now they've added a flashbang to the early mid. Take Woxic away from those angles. He does not feel like there is an equal challenge to him on the server, it seems, with the AWP, with Chris J being on his own team. Again, let's not forget, Carrigan had a great performance with the AWP this week as well. These smokes have proven dangerous, especially for Ninjas Pyjamas up against Rops in the apartments. Creeping through the smoke top mid, clearing the area, denying the information. So there's about 45 seconds on the clock once Ninjas in Pyjamas are comfortable top mid. Forcing Mousesports back, they don't have the info. But look at the aggression, there's a creep from Woxic. The man has no fear. There's number 1, falls back in time for a number 2, sees the bomb, goes for number 3! That was the quickest quickscope I've ever seen. 5 versus 2, the bomb is on the floor, and so what are the chances for Ninjas in Pyjamas to win this round? Surely, get right, trying to make a play, but 22 seconds. I don't know how much you can expect to do here.
Woxic is ridiculous. So fast. Smoke to try to cover something at least, so they can have an attack onto the bomb site. Forrest does give it a good shout, but Ross will finish it off, and that was all Woxic. So quick. He's just holding Mouse 1 down. It's holding it down.
They're on his screen and they're dead. But this is really good by him to peek behind the Molotov, kind of covering his player model just a little bit. And then NiP tried to exchange. They tried to wide swing him.
That's unreal.
Walks like, nah, dog. Nah.
That's awesome. And that's such a lifeline for Mousesports too. That's going to help them. And Carrigan's going deep again, but once more, Forest. That's the cool thing, because that flashbang that he throws allows him position to peek out, and that catches Carrigan. It catches Carrigan's support and allows the space for Forest to get that kill. Still trying to double down on it though with that aggressive smoke, as there are aggressive smokes on Banana as well. So Mousesports really trying to take the fight to NiP right at the beginning of the round, but Forest has pushed up towards top mid once again. So always reaction here from NiP, never just letting Mousesports do what they want.
Mousesports have an opportunity to try and tie the score. Rops may have an issue though if there's a wide swing from Boiler. So I wouldn't put it past him to get to. Did he spot I don't know. He may have been seen. Woxic's got a gap in the smoke though, and he is really starting to warm up in the late rounds of this first half. Chris J with an unusual angle. Dennis looking for something with an AWP. Man advantage for Mousesports. They've had two before, didn't work so well for them. Maybe it will this time. Maybe this element of surprise will crush enough for Chris J. One frag might be enough in this situation, although the bomb site isn't with Mousesports. The man advantage is there's one smoke for Get Right. Forrest runs across. Hold on to that for as long as you can. Oh, that's a terrible gap.
That's not a good look. Forrest is really weak, but so the AUG as well. One of the things with the AUGs, it is a bit harder to get those really quick kills, like with the AK. Obviously, the one shot potential of the AK is really vital in that spot. But Forrest and Get Right, the oldest duo, still playing Counter-Strike together on a team. Let's see what they can do here in this afterplan. As the time is running out now for Mousesports. They have to pull the trigger on this one as they push forward. Forrest gets the first, Get Right with the second. Now Robs, I don't think he has time for this. It looks like they've done enough. Mousesports didn't give themselves the time for error correction, and Robs he wants to go in and force the death of Forrest. At least he does that. But another round for NiP, 9-5 for them, and Mousesports with money at least, but not with success.
From the radar, it almost looked like they were looking for a lurker. Whoever it was rotating from A, but there's only two players alive for Ninjas in Pajamas. We actually saw that smoke I was talking about where you smoke Banana as if no one's coming from Banana, but Get Right had the perfect position standing just on the ledge in front of the smoke, so the player coming through the smoke, because they took so long to get there in the first place, if he had walked through it, then who knows. Probably wouldn't see Get Right anyway, but I like that. After talking about it yesterday, we finally see that happen anyway. We've got to charge through. Frozen forced forward, got to drop a smoke now because he is stuck, trapped behind a Molotov. Or in front of a Molotov, rather. Woxic just cannot miss, can he? It's like they're giant balloons that he's shooting. 5 versus 3. We've seen it before from Ninjas in Pajamas, but I think their best efforts in a 3 versus 5 have come and gone. Mousesports seem to have adjusted and grown with power. Rops on the balcony on the rail again. Vandal, Hoodlum. Hot flashes for a take-off Banana, trying to take some information away from the CTs, but they may not feel so inclined. Molotovs, though, will be encouraging. Now they could set up for a pop flash play. So with the AWP for Chris J, maybe not. Tags Forrest through the wall. And things go from bad to worse in the last round of the first half for the Swedes.
I feel like it's difficult to count them out though at this stage. Get Right. He's so good at this, harassing the A-bomb site. Oh, that was such an important kill to get. If he gets that kill, it can create some more delay and more problems here, but now NiP's true plans have been revealed. If you see Get Right in the apartments, you pretty much know that he's lurking that spot almost every time. I still feel like. And the push comes through, but it'll be 6-9 for Mousesports.
A late recovery for Mousesports towards the end of that first half, just dotting rounds here and there. Will it be enough? 6 rounds. Can they make a difference and take momentum in the second half? Find out after the break. And we're back. We're off to the races once again. Mousesports with 6 rounds on the CT side. Move to the T side. They are the aggressors now. Carrigan and Chris J with some grenades. Carrigan deploying a flashbang already too. Ooh, we have a very pokey-proddy approach around the bridge area. The bomb is collected by Carrigan. What are the intentions? Is the flash for Banana? Looking for some aggression from Ninjas in Pyjamas, it seems. Get Right's got 2 flashes of his own. 3 players waiting in the B bomb site. And there's a flash for Get Right. Standard stuff. Having a look-see, and he will see someone just spotting. Not too much information. Doesn't mean they're going to A necessarily with 1:15 on the clock.
So scary when you have these opening duels like this. And at this point, it is Mousesports just waiting. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Nice one tap from Rez. And NiP, let's not forget, they're a map ahead here, and they are definitely looking favorites moving into this 9-6. So if they win the pistol, that would be devastating for Mousesports. They've already lost Rob straight away. What is the remedy for this? We got the smoke going towards Moto. Lecro's close. Oh, that should have been one for Lecro, but Chris J will defend as the push will come into the A bomb site. Can NiP hold it?
Trades, headshots, variants, pistol round. Bomb drops on the floor, and that leaves Chris J in a 1 versus 3. He's got a USP, and he's got nothing now. Left in a graveyard. Some irony there as NiP double their figures. They have 10 now, rather than the 9.
Dennis, the pistol god. Taking out all these players, making it look way too easy. Does he even take a point of damage?
Oh yeah, he doesn't even get touched. Impressive.
Okay from Dennis, as he often does. Pistol Jesus, cheap helmet upgrade as well. He will take the AUG, not even an M4A4.
Yes.
Lots of money. Loads of money, as Harry Enfield would say. Maybe 1% of the audience will get that one. 5 Glocks out for Mousesports, very susceptible to the Granates. So there are some occasions in a round such as this where you would see, say, a molly bottom of Banana, and then when a team know that there are lots of SMGs around, they will just, the T side on Eco will just suicide in the Molotov to minimize the frag bonus awarded to the CTs. We saw it before from, I think, Space Station. At the time, we thought it was a catastrophe, but it wasn't.
Planned.
It was intentional.
Calculated.
Here we are. 5-round lead for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and the AKs are out for Mousesports.
So this is a really, really rough start for Mousesports in the second half. I wonder what the Banana dynamic will look like. Typically in Swedish Counter-Strike, I don't know if NiP have sort of changed things over time now, but it used to always be the case that they were very passive on their CT sides, a bit overly passive, I would say, but I don't think that they still really play that style, so I hope we don't see them playing too passive. I think that they can really constrict Mousesports with aggressive play, and I think that's the best way to deal with Mousesports. Oh, Woxic, how does he defend that one? Necro whiffing a few shots there. That was a pretty big opportunity for NiP. And now, I mean, they at least get Banana control. And Mousesports going into a top mid take. They'll ignore Banana for now, but I would imagine they may go back later on. Oh my god! Carrigan's just running straight out there. He loves just running in. I have no idea what's going on. And Forrest, speaking of which, running in as well.
Absolute madness. Dennis now trying to hold down the bomb. Was that a pre-fire? Whatever it was beautiful. And at least Woxic with so much to do won't happen. Ninjas in Pyjamas now double the score of their opponent, looking so strong for a 2-0 every round of the second half so far, which is only 3, but that was a strong and definitive CT round. But indeed, what was going on there? I don't think he was expecting for someone to be there, especially with the smokes up. I thought he had free reign. I think he thought he had free reign to bounce a flashbang off the wall into the A site and try and make a play. Caught with his pants down. And arrested for doing so.
I guess one of the things there is just that there wasn't, like, he was so far disconnected from his teammates. If you have someone there sort of to at least trade with him, that'd be something. But speaking of which, nice trades coming in from both sides as it goes 3 versus 3. Just the pistols here for Mousesports, but guns to be collected on Banana, which creates a strong argument to make sure that they go up to Banana, and Lecro is going to try to pursue. Got to be really careful with this. Finds one, and no Kevlar at all for Frozen, so he will melt under the AUG, leaving Rops with the CZ. So the crisis seemingly has been averted for the time. And those guns are not recoverable for Rops, so he's really not got many options here other than just to fight for the guns.
Fondue being created on Banana. The fountain of pain. Smoke gives a gap. Looks over the top looking for a head. Can't quite see Dennis. If he picks up a deagle, then they know where he is. So he can't really do that, because if there's somebody anywhere towards A, I think he got a headshot there, but you know, the two people standing there, he did what he could, but the situation was so bad, he couldn't do much. This might be a brief game of Inferno, I feel. It has to be now for Mousesports. It has to be now. Ninjas in Pyjamas are way too, they've got far too much momentum. It's like, what's that film with Keanu Reeves, Speed? Where the train's out of control or whatever, the bus, they're on the bus.
Speed.
There's no brakes, they can't brake.
John Wick.
Or Speed 2, it's on a boat.
We'll just start with the first one.
Or Point Break, he was a
I think the little
surfer.
pond in T-Spawn is too small for Speed 2, so we'll go with Speed. Can at least use mid. And I'd be trying to drive Mousesports into a wall. They've got a good buy, but again, it has to be now. We spoke at the beginning about Woxic on the T side of the AWP. Here he is.
Oh. NiP's doing a good job of not really giving a chance for Woxic to take a pick, or any picks at that point. They do have a crossfire middle. They know they're up 13-6 with lots of money. Mousesports probably sweating a little bit. Make them sweat.
Yeah, it's really hard. You know, NiP making the perfect decisions here, just playing really passively. And, you know, this will deny Woxic ultimately before they get to a bomb site. And just want to slow them down. The pacing is pretty good as far as NiP are concerned, because it's about, you know, just less than the 50 seconds mark coming up. And top mid was not taken by Mousesports. And NiP, I think, realized this, and they will very soon. So there's kind of this small window of opportunity for Mousesports where those mid smokes were up to try to show presence on Banana, and if they go back for a mid take now, this would be quite interesting, because I don't think NiP have any idea what's going on. And a quick pick there. Look at the time though, less than 30 seconds to get a bomb plant. They're committed towards A now, and still 3 players there for NiP.
The transfer, so far so good. Containing Woxic with the bomb, and that's got to be the round. 15 seconds, 1 versus 4. The bomb's top mid. The rotation is in. There's no time to go B. This is a suicide mission for Frozen. This is a one-way ticket. No coming back from that. 14-6 for Ninjas in Pyjamas. 4 players survive. Looking so strong. This is an NiP you want to see. This is an NiP people have been waiting to see for a very long time.
I really liked what Mousesports did that round. The problem is that they didn't get any kills to deny NiP any information. They didn't take mid on purpose because they wanted them to over-rotate towards B, but NiP smartly pushes car and kills Kerrigan, who needed to get that kill at Sandbags if they wanted that strat to work.
Yeah, and after that point, it's kind of you kind of left like, oh god, this awkward feeling like we haven't really accomplished what we needed to do. Now we're in a really bad spot. So it's pretty desperate for Mousesports here, and it's a desperate time for all of the majority of our predictions. We expected NiP not to be quite this good, and Rez is going to be posted up on the angle. Will there be a wide swing for the? Oh no, it couldn't be easier for Rez. Quick, easy double, and looks like match point might be on the way very shortly here for NiP.
I won't try to defend the bomb too much. Ooh, into the tight angle. That's the benefit sometimes of the Desert Eagle angles. I don't have time to really explain that, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. But let's say, like, if you're in A main on train, you invite the CTs to peek in a beneficial angle. Maybe there's a chance here, 2 versus 3. There's no one on the A bomb site whatsoever. They thought it was guaranteed play towards B, but 35 seconds, there's plenty of time. Rops has a flashbang, but can't quite believe his eyes. Oh my god, the patience, the discipline. Trying to defend match point, and he's still got the time to go for bursts. With, well, there we go. He's still got a flash. Won't be so useful now. Bombs planted, Lecro seems to have an idea of where Rops might be. He knows one is on the site. There is Frozen looking for Rops now, and that's going to be that. Match point for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and plenty of them. It wasn't a full buy for Mousesports. They were close, but not quite.
winning the clutches, winning the positional battles, winning the utility war. Just winning, winning, winning for NiP. Oh, actually threw his teammate there as well. Some nice deagles, but it's got to be more than that to take a round against NiP. Oh, wow. 4.
It's a long way back.
Yeah, so it's going to take ages. 9 rounds they need in a row. Damn.
The initial exchange towards Banana. I give you this, you give me that. I don't want that.
Ooh.
But you should take this. Not a great start for Mousesports. They have done no damage to Ninjas in Pyjamas, but they have position. What is position worth? You do the math. There's got to be some kind of calculation, some scientific calculation. But it's not for me to do. That's a beautiful shot from Rez. Absolutely fantastic aim from the man. Only sees one person. Now there's the burst top mid. It goes too deep to stop Dennis, but he will rotate back towards the arch position. Carrigan taken down in isolation. His plays towards top mid haven't been so good in this half. Man, disadvantage for Mousesports gets even worse. Lekro delivering. Woxic trying to even the numbers once again. Lekro by double stack now. Can't stop Woxic though. Can anybody? 2 versus 2. Terrible smoke in the middle of A. And Woxic will plant the bomb for Robson Graveyard.
That was a really close spot there for Lekro on the AK, looking for the headshot, but instead 2v2. NiP been winning these clutches, but can Woxic make the difference with Robs? It's such a strong combo. And there goes the AWP. How do you trade that? I don't think you can. It's impossible. And in the flames, Get Right will be incinerated. And Mousesports will stay alive, but now it was 9 in a row they needed. Now they need just 8 in a row.
Lekro's got 11.5. Ooh. That's so beautiful. Gotta love a headshot of an AWP. Woxic, the action is glorious, but so much more will be required. They recovered from a tough situation there, Mousesports. Ninjas in Pyjamas may be reading too much into the B-bomb site, but they still have a buy. Lekro had $11,000 with some drops. He now has literally nothing. He's emptied the suitcase onto the floor. Suitcase full of cash. Some spray from top of Banana. So many tracers. Woxic is lurking, and you just feel like he's going to take a shot and take someone out. Spray continues the harassment. And CT's by the tree position. Mousesports in response will burst top mid for the second round in a row. Woxic getting some tags. Got to be careful. Carrying the bomb moves away now. And Ninjas in Pyjamas will fall back from Banana. The battle for control rages on around the arch position. Lekro moving deep. So many plays here for Mousesports. Maybe some footsteps will be heard. Dennis with some pre-fire. Ding-dong from Carrigan, though. Finally having some success. But not for long. He gets traded immediately.
Lekro's going to find this perfect timing. It's going to be very difficult. Manages to make it work, and there's the attention coming back through Porch, but it's going to be down to Rez now on the bomb side to delay as long as he possibly can. Up on the box, this is actually a pretty strong position right now. Be difficult to deal with this. Woxic, surely he's going to be shown. Yes, absolutely. Rez, he's done it. 16-7. NiP absolutely crushing Mousesports on Inferno and on Nuke. It was a tough first half, but also they looked incredible.
Yeah, Mousesports, after that first half of Nuke, or actually towards the second half of Nuke, it looks like they were panicking for the entire match, and this match too. NiP showing their T side. It's something to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, actually, that's the word I was thinking of. And usually Mousesports have really good CT sides, but it seems like in these two maps, I wonder how many times Mousesports went up to kill and then ended up losing the round against NiP. It had to have been at least 3-4 times for sure.
I mean, look at all these highlights we're seeing from Mousesports in the replays, but it's NiP who are grinding out the rounds.
Grinding. They're grinders. So they somehow just managed to sneak their way in, and Mousesports, a lot of their position on CT side was a little off. They would get the pick, or they would have like the advantage in the round, and then somehow they get picked off. They get outshotted by NiP on their T side. So I mean, take it what you will, but NiP looked really, really strong.
They did. I think it's still early days for Mousesports with their new roster, but I mean, it's fantastic to see Ninjas in Pyjamas in form like this. And you want to see it consistently. And I do think, for me, it just felt like, regardless of the result, the derby in Australia was a turning point for them. And so far, so good. That's a great March. Dennis is in the form of his life, it seems. But there's no standout play. It's a great average across the team once again here on Inferno. And there's a 2-0. There's the upset as far as the fans are concerned. And that is going to be a very stimulating game of T-sides, especially Vanguard and Ninjas in Pyjamas in tomorrow's final to try and accrue some more cash and make their way to London. That was really, really awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Any thoughts, Dan?
I think it seems like Mousesports not ready for NiP. NiP looking like this team where those T-sides are so strong. I wonder if they've been watching some ENCE demos, because we're seeing that kind of that movement and pacing that ENCE tend to have. Like ENCE, the way that they move through a map is very decisive, and the team plays very good. It's not one player that particularly stands out per se, and every so often, yes, but NiP, they're looking like that. I can't think of one player on NiP was like, wow, he had a great game. But from a team play perspective, they played amazing.
Yeah.
For a Swedish team where the identity was always about the individuals, I think they're moving in a great direction.
Absolutely. Have we got our X Factor play of the game? I believe we do. It better not be a bloody Glock, I'm telling you. Right, let's see what it is. Hyper X Factor play of the game. And of course it is pistols, but it's a USP. They've kind of changed their flavor. What is it with you guys and pistols, man? I mean, you have to respect Dennis, though. You kind of forget that he is one of the pistol gods. He's in the Mount Rushmore of pistol rounds, for sure. So, I don't know what it is with these. They seem to have a fetish about pistols. But at least we've moved on from the Glock. They've gone from the big magazines to the smaller ones, the USP, the CT side. I'll take it. It was a nice play. That is Europe. That's come to a close. It was a very, I think for some it will be disappointing. It's always going to be, it is always going to be for some. I'm talking too fast. It will always be for some. Mousesports were the fan favorite. They were the favorite, I think, for Pinnacle as well, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, so there we go. An upset, but I think it was a very enjoyable game of Counter-Strike. Despite the losses for Mousesports, we had some very explosive plays. The replay was just full of crazy plays from Woxic and other guys as well. Some great plays from Rops, which were not necessarily rewarded. But there we are, Ninjas in Pyjamas in the final tomorrow versus Vanguard. We will have a North American match coming up for you, Luminosity versus Liquid. That's coming up in, I think, just under 2 hours, is it? Give me a nod. 1 hour. Okay, cool. All right, so 1 hour we will have Luminosity and Liquid. And that will be changing later on as well. 259 since we could draw on a map. Later on, it will be 260. Pray it doesn't get to 365 or even 300. We'll see you back here, top of the hour, for more NA Counter-Strike.